had to describe Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in one word, it would be evolution. The evolution and fine-tuning the first game needed. Developed in Sega of America and released in 1992, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was and still is the best-selling Sonic game ever.
And now that we got the introductions out of the way, let's see how Sonic 2 fares in terms of gameplay. Well, the controls are pretty much the same. Sonic can still run fast, spin, jump and roll into a ball. The only new addition to the moveset is the spin dash. While crouching, you can mash the crap after the jumping button, making Sonic spin in place. Once you let go of the button, Sonic will dash forward in high speed. This thing is awesome, it makes traveling to the level much more easier by giving Sonic access to his high speed. Something the first game could have benefited from. Another addition to the game would be miles per hour, Sonic's sidekick, or how everybody calls him, Tails. It's a pretty neat character in internal design with a much cuter appearance compared to Sonic's cooler look. You can play as him, but he controls exactly like Sonic, or you can have him follow Sonic around while playing, and if you have a second controller he can also be controlled by a second player, which is cool I guess, but for this review I'll be playing just as Sonic for the reasons I'll explain later. Like in the last game, Sonic or Tails can collect rings to stay alive. Getting hit while having a ring will result on Sonic losing the ring. Getting hit while holding no rings will result on Sonic losing a life, and collecting 100 will grant Sonic an extra life. In terms of power-ups they are the same, so I'm not gonna waste my time anymore here. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 didn't change that much in terms of controls. The real changes are on the level design. I complained that the first game didn't take advantage of Sonic's high speed. Some levels were focusing more on traditional platforming, which is fine, but I believe it could have been a better balance between platforming and high speed. Except for Marble Zone, I still hate it. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 level design is much more open and fast paced. The first zone, Emerald Hill Zone, is a great way to ease the new player into how the game works. It covers everything you're going to see in the rest of the game, while the more skilled player can take advantage of the level design and Sonic speed to finish the level much faster or find extra goodies. That's what I like the most about the level design. It rewards skilled gameplay while not being overly punishing for the newbies. A lot of secret power-ups and shortcuts can be reached only if you know the way around the level. Yeah, the first game had some of this as well, but not as much as this game. An example of the skill-based design I was talking about is in the water zone. In the first game you are forced to go to the slow water section in Labyrinth. In Aquatic Ruin Zone you can avoid the water altogether if you're skilled enough, so the second game feels like an improvement overall. Another improvement is also the length of the levels. Instead of going through 3 acts, you're going through 2 acts for each zone. I'd say it's a change for the better. The number of acts never bothered me, but having only 2 acts doesn't make any zone overstay its welcome, so it's a nice change. The graphics are too an improvement from the last game. Everything is more colorful and vibrant. The backgrounds just make the world more alive and beautiful, and sometimes even tie in the story. For example, in Emerald Hill you see those mountains in the background and think, wow, those would make a cool zone, and later in the game you actually visit them. Sonic's animation also show more of his attitude. He was always that cool, rad character who was ready for adventure at any time, and the animation sure showed that. And now the music. What can I say, it's good. If there is one thing consistent about this game series, is the fact that the music is always good, and this game is no exception. Every tune fits the zone that it's played in. From the happy-go-lucky vibe I get from Emerald Hill Zone, from the mysterious tune of Mystic Cave, each zone track is unique and memorable.
So let's see, the gameplay didn't change that much, the spin dash is a great addition to the game, the level design is fun and rewarding, the music is great, the graphics are great, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 seems like a perfect game, right? Well, yeah, no.
Something that I didn't talk about in the first game was the visibility problem. Because Sonic is running so fast, something might pop out in front of him and you're not giving enough time to react to it. It didn't happen that much in the first game, so I didn't bother mentioning it, but goddamn if is it noticeable here. Then again, because of the ring system, it's pretty rare to actually lose a life because you didn't see an enemy or a bed of spike while running, but it still doesn't make it less annoying, it breaks the flow of the game. Other problems, well, Metropolis Zone, the zone in general, it sucks. The enemies are places you won't be able to avoid them, the streets you have to run on in order to go up are slow, and if you get hit by an enemy, you'll fall off them, having you to backtrack in order to make them reappear, which can happen a lot by the way. To make things even better, the zone has 3 acts! Yay! Anyways, another thing I wasn't a big fan of were the special stages. The way I get into the special stage this time is a little different. Instead of completing the level with at least 50 rings, you have to pass the checkpoint with 50 rings and jump into the stars that appear around it. That means you get more chances to get a Chaos Emerald, which is great. However, once you get out of the special stage, your ring count resets to 0 no matter how many rings you had before getting in. And since most of the stages don't allow you to backtrack, most of the time you don't have enough rings to get in the special stage by the next checkpoint. Another problem is that sometimes even if you have enough rings, you can pass the checkpoint too quick and lose your chance to get a Chaos Emerald. The special stages themselves, well, you get inside this 3D pipe structure like constantly moving forward. What you have to do is collect a specific amount of rings until you pass the checkpoint while avoiding bombs. Sounds easy, right? Nope, because of the bad visibility, it's very hard to predict where the bombs will appear, and in the later stages the ring requirement will be so strict that if you get hit once, you can kiss that emerald goodbye. Also, there is this fella. I said that Tails are a pretty cool character, but not here. In the special stages, Tails become your worst enemy. He follows you around, mimicking your every move and also collecting some rings to help you out, but has a 2 seconds delay, which means no matter how well you avoid the bombs, Tails will most likely get hit by them. Which means losing the rings he collected, which means he's screwing me over. This is the reason I'd rather not have Tails with me. It's hard enough to get into the special stages on my own, and I do not need this fiery son of a bird to make things even harder. But the good news are, once you get the Chaos Emeralds, you get to turn into Super Sonic, which is awesome. After collecting 50 rings and simply jumping, you realize that you're not dealing with your average Hedgehog anymore. Because Sonic realized the legend. He became the legendary Super Hedgehog.
No, seriously, you have no idea how old that got.
But yeah, like I said, Super Sonic rocks. He gets faster, he jumps out and is also invincible. He can still get crushed and drowned though, and also has a ring countdown. Once he reaches 0, Sonic will turn back into his normal state. So yeah, it's good to see that the Chaos Emeralds are finally worth the extra effort.
In the end, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is considered by many the best Sonic game ever. I can see that even though the game has some problems, but despite those problems, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a worthy successor to the first game. Anyway, this was my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I hope you like it and I see you next time.